Hi everyone. Wanted to hop on here and help a couple friends out who are looking to start AI consulting companies of some kind. Um, I wanted to make this video to talk through my sort of workflow for working with clients to help people understand how it works because a lot of people think to enter the AI space, they have to do something related to selling a direct product. Like, oh, I need to sell an AI receptionist to all the businesses that I work with, or I have to be the CRM automation person, and kind of be really niched down into a certain area. But I just want to show you that's not totally the case, because a lot of what I do is helping people just simply solve their problems. I'm titling this video Money versus Time because a lot of the decisions you have to make when working with clients in this sort of capacity comes to solving what they're trying to get out of it. Generally speaking, there's two large groups of people that you'll meet: people that want to make more money in the business that they're operating, or to save a ton of time in the business they're operating. And it's your job as a consultant or as an implementer, however you define yourself, to come in and figure out the exact problems that they're facing or the solutions that they're looking for. So, generally, here is what happens when I find a client. Someone tells me, hey, we need AI for my business, or we need to solve this certain issue. So, no matter what, I hop on a call for free with folks to talk through what issues are you facing. And I just use that, 30-minute to an hour long call to identify their main pain points, how their company is operating, where they're hoping to improve, with the goal of kind of grouping them into one of these categories, and more specifically, identifying where the main bottleneck is right now. The main sort of workflow you should work through is figure out, do they have a lead generation problem? Do they have a closing problem? Or do they have an operations and fulfillment problem? Those are the three sort of areas along the client customer journey that I usually identify someone having an issue with. So, for instance, if they have a lead gen problem, it comes in the form of them struggling with their marketing. If that is not an issue and they have a whole bunch of leads out there and they know exactly who to reach out to, but they can't close the leads and they don't have enough operating customers, then obviously they have a sales problem where they need to close leads at a higher level. And then finally, if it's not about any of this sort of upfront money generation generally, they probably have really struggling systems and operations that go into that kind of third category. Once you identify where in this sort of pipeline that they're struggling, it becomes way easier to begin to pitch your service or pitch a tool that you want to implement with them. And I would become pretty well versed in all of these sort of areas if you're hoping to operate in a similar capacity as myself, where I pride myself on being your go to problem solver for any sort of tech needs in your small or medium sized business. So you want to be able to solve any problems that might arise and be able to understand the tools out there that could fix the problems as time goes on. If you're really looking to be what's called like a fractional COO or fractional CTO, that is the systems ops go-to person when things arise. It's important to kind of dip your toe in a bunch of the technologies out there, specifically for the marketing, specifically for improving sales, specifically for um, maximizing efficiency within your operations. So, some examples of the more upfront sales and marketing tools out there that will quote unquote make you more money include automated lead gen pipelines. So, for instance, that could be using Clay AI and Apollo to scrape leads from the internet, whether that be Google Maps, LinkedIn, Meta, wherever you want to generate leads from, to mapping directly into your CRM for automated marketing outreach, right? very specific pipeline, generates a whole bunch of leads for you and starts acting on those leads. Something that AI today can do for you. Another example, DM automations, where if you're operating a lot on social media, then what you could do is have some sort of DM automation where if people are interacting with your profile, you start messaging them, right? There's AI tools for that. Having an AI enhanced sales funnel where within your CRM, there's automations that continue to nurture and qualify, as well as converts leads automatically. So no one is sitting in your Excel document not being reached out to, or just becoming a dead lead. There is something, some task, some sort of marketing execution happening on all of your leads at any given time, whether they are just nurture leads or they're red hot leads. Other things I built out in the space, predictive like lead scoring. So what that looks like is potentially maybe using ChatGPT to analyze the data of all of your leads and identify which ones are greater leads to go after versus not go after. Plenty of different ways you could use tools out there to identify what your highest probability deals are. There's dynamic pricing models where you could use AI to forecast demand and market trends to help optimize the areas you're going after if you are trying to acquire or you're in the maybe real estate business. Tons of different market analysis tools out there that could move you towards buying better deals and making you more money long term. Additionally, AI-powered content creation, where you create branded avatars, or even we're at the point that voice clones are getting really good using platforms like 11 Labs. Things like that to make marketing outreach that sounds just like you. You know, in a year from now, I might not be filming my own YouTube videos. I might have my AI avatar doing it for me and talking through a script that I write it. Things like that, both save you time and money. And as you could tell, I'm starting to get into the section where there is time savings and money to be made kind of together, right? So it's not black and white, time versus money, but I lead off with this to help understand what my clients are really looking for at the end of the day. So getting into time saving tools, that's where you have maybe deal analysis tools that can help you save the manual labor of maybe underwriting certain deals or pricing things for a certain customer, right? If you're still doing that manually, there's more than plenty of options out there to make that an automatic process where, based on certain criteria, you know how much to charge. Other things, end-to-end workflows where you could use the Zapiers, the Make.coms, the N8Ns of the world to automate lead routing or billing or project updates based on certain triggers. So maybe someone enters your environment, new client signs up for your services, then what happens after that? You should receive an automatic email for onboarding that client, or you should be updated with billing notifications whenever they pay invoices, right? If you're doing these sort of processes manually on the back end, there is for sure AI tools to solve that for you. AI Copilot assistance is another great example of ways you can save time. So instead of yourself having to go in and, let's say, for instance, train team members, you could have AI agentic copilots trained on your company's operating procedures, trained on your company's protocols and how you typically answer your team's questions so it could handle onboarding or run reports for your company or kind of be some sort of administrative assistant or even live on your website and answer questions as people pop into your website, right? The possibilities are endless, and you could generally train it on pretty much all of your company information and then utilize just how you prompt the AI assistant to act as a certain person, right? Use all this information to act as a manager for my team. Use all this information to act as my administrative assistant who will book calls with me or answer questions on my website, right? Countless possibilities with today's date in AI. Another popular way, something you should be doing today for any business owner or any sort of AI guru out there, is just simple operating procedure generation, where if you're filming any sort of videos for your company or any sort of Loom videos, YouTube videos instructing teammates how to do things, plug that all into a AI tool that can make written documentation on how to go about it, or can act as your go-to like help desk for those certain pieces of information. Finally, some other things could include like how you interact with your CRM or performance, key performance indicator dashboards. So keeping track of all of your company's key metrics, understanding where everything lives within the full cycle of working with a client, right? There's a lot of ways to automate those sort of processes, so you don't have to go in and calculate how successful is my sales team being at closing leads, how successful is my team at fulfilling on the leads in a timely fashion, right? Countless ways that these sort of processes can be automatic and be presented in a way that actually help your company. Finally, I think last really good example for time savings could include any sort of scheduling or calendar management or email management out there, right? There's countless tools right now that take a lot of those off your back. And I still am a fan of having like a real person be your sort of administrative assistant. But truthfully, we're getting to the day and age where that's no longer the case. And you could take AI to schedule calls for you 24/7, not just during work hours, or manage your calendar when things come up, right? Countless ways that you could implement these into people's businesses. So, in summary, after rambling for the last 10 or so minutes here, what I want you to understand is there are countless ways to get involved in the AI space or to make your life easier or make more money. And it just simply comes down to listening to your customers' needs, understanding where their biggest problems lie, and you could be the person to solve it for them. They don't have to, turn to a specific agency that solves that one problem for them. I think where the future of AI is heading, I am very much going to try to avoid being involved in one of those one-off tool implementations because of how fast technology is changing, and just the progress that just one company, OpenAI, is making. I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be the person to rope myself into just being the NAN guru or just being some sort of AI chatbot guy that helps companies build those. I want to be the problem solver that connects the business strategy to existing tools out there, because that is going to always be a need for folks, where people don't understand all the tools out there, that could potentially help them. So that's a problem I try to solve. And you could take a ton of different lenses about how to go about AI consulting or AI implementation work. But I think at the end of the day, you want to be a problem solver that people can turn to time and time again, and you'll give them guidance on how to fix their issues. So that is my rant for today. As always, you can feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn or Instagram or wherever you interact with my content, and I'd love to chat. Thanks so much.